Good, everybody. So I'm actually not a teacher currently. But I would consider myself an educator. I worked for the Enviro Schools Foundation for a number of years, and have been very involved in community development and youth development for the last almost 10 years now, I guess. So I'm currently working for DOC, but I'm speaking about today about, I guess, my own views from my collective experience on working with young people in the environment. Can you see my screen? Can someone audibly tell me? Okay. Oh, wonderful. All right. So I'm going to talk to you today, and I'm going to race to try and get through all my material about ecological education. And my focus is on citizen science. So Tony, I'm sure this will help to answer the question that you just asked as well. Okay, so I'm really interested in citizen science, as in how do we engage young people and communities in asking scientific questions in the landscape through engagement approaches and technology, and supporting them to learn how to ask landscape questions, because it's interactive and engages curiosity, so it's a great way to connect with people. It's in, about, and for the environment. I don't know if you teachers use those terms anymore, but I'm sure you do. There's endless technology that you can use in the data collection that I'll talk more about. It's about creatures and critters, so which young person is not intrigued by some creature or critter, whether it's a cute one, a scary one, an ugly one, a slimy one. It's about active citizenship. It engages our communities in the management and of the world around them. It's place-based. I'll talk more about that. It's got a community development function, and it's actually real science as well. So that's a big plus. This is a snapshot from a BioBlitz that we did earlier this year at Kaiti Beach in Gisborne. So working with the YMCA holiday program and the Gisborne homeschool community and the local environment centre, DOC ran a BioBlitz where we set up this little base station here. We had iNaturalist on the computer there. We had ID guides, books. We had DOC staff there, and other people who have been very involved with restoration. And the guy in the blue t-shirt with the glasses, he was a volunteer who was really active in the iNaturalist community. If you don't know what iNaturalist is, you will soon. So we had these kids all out with adult supervisors, putting quadrats down on the beach and identifying creatures in them, looking for insects, identifying plants, learning how to use the microscopes, all that sort of stuff. This is a card from a tracking tunnel that I'd set up a couple of nights before, and you get a bonus point if you can tell me what those footprints are. When I get to the end, I'm not going to tell you what they are. But so pests and predators is a really cool way, because kids are really interested in that stuff. Tracking tunnels are really easy to make or buy, but very easy to make, and you can get that info off the DOC website. Place-based approaches that involve young people and communities are just an excellent learning environment. So this is a little DOC reserve on Riverside Road here in Gisborne, where we've been working with a whole range of different partners. So the fence was built by the EIT, the local polytech, their fencing studies students. We've had schools in there planting and learning about stuff. These guys here are young people from a YMCA youth development course. And they're making tracking tunnels, and we've been working with them to use apps to track, find out what creatures are in there and track them and all that sort of stuff. And so in doing this work, we can use our phones and tablets, we can use cameras, there's various apps we can use, we can learn about GPS, we can use infrared technology, we can learn about spreadsheets and data recording, we can make tracking tunnels, we can use mapping apps or learn about physical mapping. We can make artificial habitat, we can use compasses and outdoor gear, we can test different traps, nets, decors and lures, learn about microscopes, so you can see it's a rich science learning environment. So the mapping thing, this was an interesting project that happened right at the top of the East Coast in Te Aroha, where Ngāti Porou, DOC staff, Heritage New Zealand and LINZ worked together with the kids from the local schools to map an old PAR site, and they learnt about Google Maps and mapping technology, and also traditional mapping techniques. So when we're in the environment, we're not just learning about science, we also have a chance to learn about history, and also about mātauranga Māori and how to have different worldviews when we look at the natural world. So this is Nick Tupara, who's a very talented Gisborne artist and historian, talking to us at that same BioBlitz about the kaitiaki that Ngati Onioni understand live in the harbour around Gisborne. And so we had that layer of context and learning for the community as well. So we've all heard that term, education for sustainability, but I hate the word sustainability because it's just about keeping things the same, and that's not how the world works. So I want to talk about education for anti-fragility, how we use all these approaches to engage our young people in asking questions, responding to change, thinking about how they can build stronger selves and stronger communities and stronger approaches to the world from change rather than just trying to keep things the same or bouncing back. So, and all of this means that when we look at landscapes and the world, we increase our ability to use science, which this is why we're here to learn about science, but also I think it's really important, particularly in a New Zealand context, when we're trying to have a culture that's based on biculturalism, that we're able to look at landscapes not just with our science eyes, but also with our spiritual eyes and our cultural eyes, and see the layers of meaning and the layers of history and ways of connecting and interacting with the world that are there. So being a scientist does not mean that we're a materialist, and this is a personal point for me that I just wanted to use this opportunity to share, that we can use science. It doesn't mean we have to dismiss things that we don't yet understand. And I think in working in a biocultural environment, and if we're working with Māori young people or any young person who connects with the world spiritually, we don't have to, we can have both of those things, and it's called pluralism, and Darwin was a big proponent of it. And so thank you, that was my presentation.